everyone. This week I'm taking you along for a long run, some much needed desert relaxation, and a dive into classic literature. I am Nish. Running and reading are my favorite ways to have fun. Welcome to my channel.
Okay, hello and welcome to another video. So today is Saturday and I'm about to go out for my long run. It's a 1 hour run. It's nothing crazy, but the thing is I have missed the past couple long runs. I've been out or I've been busy on my long run days and I had to skip them. And also during the week I have missed at least a couple running sessions. Basically I haven't really been consistent with my runs, so I think today's run is going to be a little tougher than what it would have been if I was consistent with my training. But anyway, nevertheless, I am still gonna go out. So the plan is after the long run, we're gonna go out and get some brunch, and then after that, I'm actually gonna spend some time reading a classic today, which I have been excited about for a hot minute now. I was just waiting for Saturday so I could start this vlog and I could start reading that book in this vlog. So I'll chat more about the book later. Anyway, back to the run. So I just wanted to quickly talk about the nutrition that I'm taking. So usually I do not take crazy amount of nutrition or anything on like any run which is 1 hour or shorter. So one of the things I'm taking is water. I always take plain water. And then I have another thing of, this is just like electrolytes. Electrolytes always help you hydrate a little better and faster. So 1 water, 1 electrolytes. And I am carrying 1 thing of the gel. So typically on a run which is an hour long, 16 minutes run, I do not consume any gels. I don't really feel a need to. When the runs are over an hour, that's when I consume my gels. So on a typical run, I will consume my gel at the first hour mark. And then after that, every 30-40 minutes, depending on how I'm feeling. Anyway, I would like to be prepared if in case I need some nutrition. I'm already thinking about brunch. Is that crazy? And then as for entertainment, I am just going to listen to music or a podcast. I'm not really going to listen to any books today on my run. So yeah, it's just going to be like either music or like a podcast. Nothing crazy. I'm not going to listen to any books. I might look crazy, but I feel good and I feel prepared. I guess that's what matters. Alright, enough chit-chatting. I gotta go. I really gotta go. I'm a 1.5 miles in and I think I'm going a little fast. I need to slow down because I'm already out of breath. I'm 35 minutes into my run. I still have another 35 minutes, but the sun is sunning, the breeze is breezing, and my Spotify playlist is popping right now. I am now just 35 minutes away from getting done with my training for today, and I cannot wait to feel accomplished. You know the feeling you get when you get the biggest task of the day out of your way right after you wake up? That feeling. I'm kind of proud of myself that I'm filming outside. I'm actually talking to the camera outside, which is crazy. However, I did find a really quiet spot to do this, so I don't feel super weird. Oh my god, okay. There's breeze, but it's like hot air. And it's so hot right now. That's what happens when you run really close to noon. Like the sun's right there. You see it? Oh my god. I was feeling so good. Now I'm like, I just can't wait to get done. Whew. I have 10 more minutes, so close. Done with my run. Oh my god, my face. Oh, my face is so hot right now. It feels like it's burning because of the sun. But I am done. I'm gonna walk for a bit and then head back home. I am am ready for brunch. I am hungry and I'm excited about what I'm gonna eat for brunch. The run, I felt so strong on this run. I think I mentioned before leaving that this is probably going to be a struggle for me today because I haven't been doing long runs for a little while now. But I honestly felt very strong. I think at least in the first half of the run, the weather was just perfect and that just gave me the strength to keep going. And then later on, it became like really hot and my face still feels like it's burning. But overall, it was a really good run. I felt very strong and it was way above my expectations. So I'm super happy about that. I'm satisfied with that. And now it's time to go celebrate with some good food.
I've never really done this before. This is my third cup that I'm making today. Take the beans, grind the beans, put it in here. Take your smasher tool, smash it.
Smasher tool.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay, next step. Goes like in like this.
Nice.
Coffee mug. Hit the button. Double espresso.
Yeah. Perfect.
And that is how you make espresso at an Airbnb where you are working with a coffee machine that you've never worked with before.
Good job.
Hell yeah.
Cute. Post some more. Yes. Nice. Okay, so it's much later in the day. Actually, it's not much later. We did get brunch, and the brunch was delicious. I did want to take a clip of what I ordered, but once I saw the food, I was so hungry that I just started eating. So I actually failed to take a clip there. Once I got home, I took a very quick nap and I just relaxed. But now I feel refreshed and I think I'm finally ready. My brain is ready to start reading again. And since we are already in spring, the book I wanted to start or kick off this season with is Emma by Jane Austen. First of all, this cover is so beautiful. I have another version of Emma, but the reason I picked this one's by Wordsworth Classic. And I saw this on the internet and I really loved it. I do have Pride and Prejudice also, which is in the same theme, and that's a really cute copy as well. I'll maybe show it to you later. I don't have it around here right now. But Emma, so first of all, I have never read a Jane Austen before. And most of us know Jane Austen, or at least of her work, through movie adaptations of her stories like Pride and Prejudice. I have watched Pride and Prejudice, and of course, I enjoyed it. I love watching period pieces, but I've never really read Jane Austen. So this year, one of the things I wanted to do was read more classics, and the other one was I intentionally wanted to pick up books by Jane Austen. So I thought Emma would be a perfect fit, a perfect way to start off spring. And if I like this book, my plan is to read at least one Jane Austen every quarter. So that way I'll be able to read. We're in quarter two, so maybe I'll read like three more books by the end of this year. Who knows? That's the plan right now. But anyway, in this book, we follow Emma, who is our protagonist. She is a big romantic. She believes, for what reason, I don't know, but she believes that she is never going to be married. And she's someone who loves to play a matchmaker, who loves to bring people together. She's an imaginist, or she has a very vivid imagination. She is rich. She's also very clever. So I think we're going to spend a lot of time in like an old country village kind of setting in this book with people of different classes. So that's what Emma is about. Like I said, it has a lot of spring vibes to it. And then the cover just adds to that charm. So I'm going to sit and read. Also, one other thing that I'm going to do differently this time is I'm going to try to annotate while I read. I am not really big on annotations. In fact, I like the idea of annotating and I have never really tried it. Annotating has always intrigued me. I have never really gotten into it. So I thought a classic book like Emma would be a good place to start and test the waters and see if annotating is something I really enjoy. I'm using some very simple tools for annotating today. I'm using one pen and a few tabs. I'll use some colors from these. I don't even know if they're going to mean anything or not. I think my plan right now is just to start underlining stuff in the book. And then once, if I feel like segregating my thoughts into different buckets, I might do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to use these tabs for fun and to make my annotation look pretty. Because why not? It's my book. I can do that. Okay, anyway, enough chatting. I am gonna go put on a sweater. It's kind of chilly outside. I'm gonna grab all my stuff and I'm probably gonna go out and sit on the patio for a little bit and read. Wanted to show you guys something. I don't know if you can see it, but over here, do you see that? This is the first set of serrano peppers growing from the plant. Isn't that cool? I have never grown and eaten anything from my own backyard. I've never had that experience. Well, I have. I lived somewhere where they had like lemon trees, and there was another place where I lived where they had like orange trees, but I didn't put in any effort. It wasn't me growing those fruits in my backyard. So this is like the first time. Anyway, oh, here also, I'm not doing anything. Justin is the one who waters these plants. I just get to reap the benefits or reap the fruits, you know? That's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna get back to reading. Okay, I went and I changed into something comfier. The sun is setting, it's getting cooler, so I thought I just wanted to get into some comfy clothes. So that's what I did. And I'm like 20 pages into this book. I'm not that far along, but I do have some initial thoughts. So far, it sounds like Emma is someone who thinks or looks at people as projects, and specifically from the point of view or perspective of them needing an external force's help for matchmaking or for to find someone to spend the rest of their life with. Like even people who are completely content in their own life, she feels like she needs to meddle and find them a partner. That's the kind of feel I get about Emma so far. But it sounds like she's a very likable person. For the most part, people do like him. They're like her. There is one character, however, who is not afraid of expressing how he feels about her, whether it's negative or positive things. So I think we'll be seeing a lot more of this character later on as well. And as for the writing, I love writing. Just generally, I enjoy period pieces. I enjoy watching period pieces. I haven't read a lot, maybe I should, but this book was first published in 1815, December 1815, which was centuries ago. And you can, of course, the language that is used in these classics is drastically different from the kind of English we're used to using in today's day to day conversations. But I do like how these books are written and they feel so different from the ones that are written today. They are not overtly difficult to follow. I'm not going to lie, there were some parts where I had to look certain words up or certain phrases up to understand what they were trying to say. But once I understood the meaning, I was like, this is such a delightful way to describe this specific thing. So that's how I feel about writing. I'll do another check-in later depending on how much I get done. But so far, we haven't gotten too deep into the story. Emma's friend is also like her governess growing up, basically a person who took care of her, raised her, recently gotten married, and Emma's heartbroken because now this one constant companion who was such a brilliant person, who was smart, witty, and also kind of went along with whatever Emma wanted to do is no more living with them. She does move not too far from where Emma lives. Emma is very aware of the fact how people change after getting married, how their responsibilities and their priorities shift. And right now we're just seeing Emma kind of like be sad and express how she feels about her friend leaving and how much she meant to her and how her life is kind of like has an empty space in it without her friend.
Pizza for dinner, and then we're gonna watch a movie. I had a long ride today, and for hours I struggled with the thought of getting my butt on the bike. I kept going back and forth on maybe I should just skip today's workout altogether. It's okay. I don't really have to like force myself. And after like contemplating and going back and forth for like hours, I was finally successful in hauling my ass onto the bike. The session was for an hour 40 minutes. I ended up doing an hour, which in my book is a win because I had come so close to not doing it at all. In fact, I was mentally prepared to just skip it and just chill for the rest of the day. But somehow managed to get on the bike, and I was like, I decided I'm just gonna keep going for as long as I can, and I ended up riding for an hour, so which is great. I am pretty happy about that. Now I am on my way to get some groceries, and then I still have to figure out what I want to do for dinner.
All right, let's talk books. So, when we were out on a walk earlier today, we discovered a new neighborhood library. I think it's new. I'm not sure. I hadn't seen it before. Because for the most part, I do know all the neighborhood libraries around this area. But anyway, we discovered a new one, and I was super excited because I love I love looking into them, and I love finding out what people in my area are reading and what they're interested in. And usually the etiquette is to take a book and leave a book, but that doesn't always happen. At least I am not always able to do that. Like there are times when I unhaul like a bunch of books, so I just go and donate them to the little libraries without really taking anything out of them. And sometimes, like today, I come across a book that I am interested in and I want to read, but I don't really have anything to leave in return. So I just pick up the book, and maybe next time when I have something to donate, I'll go to the library and put it there. But anyway, so the book that I picked up from that library was Richard Osman's "We Solve Murders." I read one other book by this author earlier this year, and that was a Thursday Murder Club. It wasn't like my favorite, but I did have a good time reading it. So I thought I'd give this writer or this author another shot. Pretty excited to read this. I think the general theme of his writing is like cozy mysteries, and that's what I am hoping this is going to be. Now, let's talk about Emma. I am 62 pages into this book. I am going to read for at least an hour or two after this also. I don't think I'm going to finish reading this book tonight, but I'm going to take it in the week and try to finish it during the week. In this story, class is a very central theme that shapes your social relationships, your marital prospects, basically the kind of family you're born in, the kind of wealth that they possess. All of these things that you really do not have control over decide your position in the society. This is not something that's fictional. This was very relevant in the 19th century. In fact, even in today's world, it's very relevant in a lot of different countries where class is given a lot of importance over anything else. Your education, or how you are as a person, those things in some societies even today don't really matter, and that is something that's very central to the story in this book as well. The presence of discrimination by class is so prevalent in this book, and I thought I'll just share that with you guys. I thought I'll talk a little bit about that. But now, on to some of the fun parts of the book. Emma is friggin' annoying. I find her so annoying. And I think I read somewhere, maybe it was at the back of the book or somewhere, where Jane Austen meant for Emma to be someone who people won't like or her readers won't like. I don't know what the general consensus amongst readers is, but to me personally, she's super annoying. I don't really like her. I don't like the extent to which she meddles in other people's affairs and other people's lives. She thinks she's helping. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think she's evil. She's just entitled. She thinks she's helping, but the truth is, sometimes she's not. Okay, so let's just leave it at that. So that's about Emma. It's a fun book. Every time, whenever we think about classics, or at least when I thought about classics before I got into reading, and now I'm trying to read more classics than I ever did, but we were all at some point in our life very scared to read classics because we always think they're going to be like super dry and very hard to understand, very hard to read. While that is true for some authors and some works, it's not true for everything. Emma is a fun story of a woman who's from a high class. She doesn't think she's ever going to find her match. She doesn't think she's ever going to marry, but she likes the idea of helping other people find their partners. She likes the idea of helping people in whatever shape or form she can. So it's a fun book. There's nothing really crazy about it. I would like to know what your reading goals are, what your spring TBR looks like, or just in general, if you have a list of books you have been wanting to read, or maybe some books that you've read and loved. Please let me know down in the comments. Also, I would love to know what your fitness goals are. And if you don't have any goals set yet, it's never too late. Just because we're 3 months into the year doesn't mean we cannot set goals. It's never too late. So if you haven't set any goals, maybe set some and let me know about them. We can chat about it. I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thank you so much for sticking until the end. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you loved this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like endurance bookish content, consider subscribing. Bye.